Hello and welcome to Basement Fodder, the only show you're currently listening to. I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
Nestled safely in the nook of doom between the cat shit and the action figures.
Yeah.
We are back once again to assault your senses and bitch about comics and comic movie related things,
wrestling,
and talk about happy, friendly shit too.
Toys.
Listen to my stomach gurgle because I'm hungry.
Fuck, I'm hungry too.
We were just talking about things to talk about on the show today, and we've got
corn dogs.
Lots of things, but
corn dogs.
That reminds me, I tell you about a corn dog thing I saw.
I got a thing of corn dogs upstairs.
Oh,
you want some corn dogs?
Oh, corn dogs. Right, I like corn dogs.
Okay, we're gonna make some corn dogs.
This could be happening.
All right.
So. Yeah, a lot of the things that have been... Marvel's been very heavy in the news.
It is.
With Black Panther setting box office records.
Gearing up for the Black Panther, yes.
Yeah, but one of the things that it was sort of like, oh, it's a happy, friendly story. When I first saw it, there's the Marvel class photo. Like, here's all these filmmakers and people that were involved in all these Marvel movies.
Past 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, making this big, awesome picture. And like, oh, it sounds really cool. Except for the glaring, obvious exclusion of anyone in the TV universe.
Yeah.
Extending even to Coulson, who is part of the film universe.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they say that this is a connected universe.
But
really, like, is it?
It is. It is in a trickle-down effect.
Yeah.
It's like a trickle-down connection. Whereas, like, you have... What happens in the movies will be referenced in the shows.
Yeah.
But what happens in the shows will never be mentioned. Like, I'm sorry. Coulson has been back alive for how long now?
It's never acknowledged.
And you're telling me...
Even when S.H.I.E.L.D. is shown, it's never acknowledged.
Yeah. I'm like... Makes no goddamn sense. Especially... I don't understand, because, like, that blows my mind. Somebody would have figured it out. Yes. Maria Hill wouldn't have accidentally let that shit slip to Tony. Like, oh, by the way, Coulson's still alive. Like,
it's bullshit.
You're going to have all this shit happening and not one single Avenger's going to be like, oh, hey, there's this group of Inhumans doing some shit. Like, you got an entire Inhuman movement go down. Not one fucking Avenger shows up.
Nothing.
Not even like a Widow, a Hawkeye, Falcon.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to show up in that fucking hot mess of a train wreck that wasn't humans, but
I mean, something. you figured, like, Avenger and shit. We got Sif, in the first season for a fucking, like, runaway fucking bad guy. Yeah. You're telling me an entire...
Sam Jackson's been there.
Yeah. Like, you're telling me fucking... It's shit. The Netflix shows is the same thing. It's like,
hey, we want these things. We want S.H.I.E.L.D. to be this free advertisement for everything else that we're doing, essentially. And you can use stuff from the movies, but we're not really going to acknowledge that you exist. Yeah, but we love to have that free commercial. Yeah. Like,
and in fact, it went so far as not having to be like, you can use stuff from the movie, but they're like, no, you need to completely like write this into your storyline to build up for it. Like, I'm sorry, the whole like Ghost Rider thing and the book. I would have been, like, cool with that if that had been on a separate season where it was its own thing, like it went the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because they basically are like, oh, Doctor Strange coming out. We need magic. Shoehorn that shit in there. Oh, we're not done with Inhumans. We don't give a fuck. We said put it in there.
It's a massive failure. Let's ignore that it
You were going to be canceled, but we stopped it, so just do what we say. Like, all right.
It's an affront, really, to like all these actors that are, especially like with the Netflix shows, as popular as they are, and as much traction and as much respect that it's earned the studio to be doing these kind of grittier shows. Yeah, it doesn't fit with that movie universe whatsoever.
No. Yeah.
Like, not in the fucking least. And we've discussed this before, like, it does not fit. Like, you can watch these Netflix shows and then watch these movies and be like, there's no fucking way you could cross this shit into this. Because they have nothing, they say it's the same world, it really does not even remotely resemble the same world.
No.
The only thing you'll get is, like, Daredevil offhandedly mentioning the Battle of New York or something, like, shit, little tidbit things or whatever, but like watch fucking the seasons of Daredevil and be like, oh yeah, this totally exists in the same world as Iron Man. No, it's what? Like, there's no fucking nothing in there. Like, oh, this totally, Luke Cage totally exists in the same world as fucking the Hulk. Like, no. There's nothing to connect these things at all. It doesn't even seem like those things exist in the same world as S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're all on TV.
No.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is so much tonally different. Then
they got close. They got close with the Ghost Riders. Stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that was close, but then they didn't take it anywhere. Like, Yeah.
They're presenting this supposedly connected universe, and all of its entries are completely tonally different.
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is the closest to the movies, but it's still tonally different.
And now it's not even because, like, it was in the beginning, but now it's gone off into this, like, its own realm of, like, a weird sci-fi camp.
Yeah.
That it wasn't originally. So now it's, like, so far off that you're just like, what the shit? And I mean, and it is shitty that they didn't...
Was Haley Atwell included in this class photo?
I don't know.
Because her character bridges both. She had her own series. She's involved in all the movies, almost all of them, but a good amount of the movies. She's involved in Ant-Man. She's involved in fucking.
I don't know.
Captain America
I haven't actually like got to see the picture blown up and stuff, but I'd have to like see if I could pull up a picture of it and be like, is she involved? Because if so,
it's really insulting to these guys that are flying the flag of Marvel on TV and obviously love what they're doing and shit. If you watch their offset stuff, they're hanging out, they're doing photos, they're making references, like having fun with each other, tweeting and all that shit. Like, they obviously love being part of the universe, but they're not really. They're like the bastard stepchildren of the universe. And it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who go out there, or are going out there every week and presenting, connected storylines and shit, and trying to add to the mythos and trying to add to support to the movie.
Even including what's going on to make sure that it stays inclusive, and then like, okay, nothing,
and you get nothing for it.
Yeah,
especially like and Coulson is that character too, who's like from the movies and meant something in the movies. And is the thing that keeps the show moving. Like,
we're not even getting to that because like. So I went and saw Black Panther, and I only have 2 gripes about the movie. It was amazing, but one of my gripes is the fact that I believe Martin Freeman?
Martin Freeman, yeah.
His character is basically Phase 2 Coulson.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what he is. He's Phase 2 Coulson.
Yeah.
Or Phase whatever the fuck they're in right now.
Which, no offense to him, because I love him as an actor.
No, he's a great actor. It's just shitty.
I feel zero connection to this character. I've seen him in 3 movies now, and I don't care.
I mean...
He's not interesting in the least.
I think Black Panther gets him more involved, more interesting and stuff, but it is one of those things because you kind of have a little bit of fucking... You put the wall up like a bad relationship breakup because they fucking did what they did with Coulson, and now you're like, I don't want to get attached to another
who's
one.
Who's an easy character to get attached to? Who's kind of your like human avatar in this wonderful like spaced out world and shit.
Yeah,
but like Martin Freeman doesn't have that warmth, and he doesn't have that sort of like childlike spirit. I think that
his character does. His character does.
I love it. Like I said, I love him as an actor. I just think the character is shit.
The character is more the liaison. They went more instead of like fanboy geeking out that all these heroes are coming together. This guy is I don't care that you're a fucking hero. I have a job to do, and you're fucking it up. So
he's completely unimpressed by anything. Yeah, basically, he's just like this dour-faced motherfucker that is there. Yeah. And it's like, okay, I see that you're trying to use a character in place of Coulson. Coulson's still alive. Why don't you just fucking use him? Like, there's no reason not to.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, that was kind of rough. Like, I feel...
Yeah.
That's shitty, especially for the Netflix stuff, because the Netflix pretty much kind of saved their ass on TV stuff, because... Let's face it, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was dying a death, like, hard. Yeah. And then the Netflix stuff fucking went over really well.
If Disney didn't own ABC, S.H.I.E.L.D. would not still be on.
Yeah. I wonder if it had gotten canceled if they had put Coulson back into the movies. Probably. I have a feeling it wouldn't have. I have a feeling, like, in the movies, he's done.
It's too bad, really, because I love him as an actor. He's fucking amazing. Yeah. Whatever. That's my gripe about that shit. Like, Coulson is the thing that kept me watching S.H.I.E.L.D. as long as I did, and I probably will eventually go back and watch the shit that I haven't seen, because the Kree stuff looks kind of interesting right now. The stuff that I've seen.
It is, because, like, especially with them mentioning Captain Marvel being based in the 90s-ish, and dealing so much with the Kree... Yeah. It's kind of one of those, okay, well, what they're doing in that show, is that going to have any bearing at all?
Yeah, I'm wondering about that myself. So I'm looking forward to that, like, in some respects. So I'm probably going to try to choke my way through the fucking Ghost Rider season and shit so I can get to this season.
Yeah, I've watched enough of it, and then I know what happens towards the end of it, so I'm just like, I might watch.
Just go online and read all the episodes.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. Just go read the last bit until it sounds like it gets interesting, and I'll watch.
I'll watch that episode.
Watch that episode from then on. I'm like, ooh, that sounds cool.
That sounds neat. Don't give a fuck about the rest of this garbage.
Yeah, I like the Ghost Rider stuff. I don't care necessarily about the fucking the model thing. The
LMD thing. That interested me.
Yeah.
But it seemed out of place in the rest of the season because
and that's
of that
why,
Ghost Rider shit.
I was just like, this is fucking weird. I don't care.
It wouldn't light my world on fire, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yep, it wasn't tickling my pickle.
It's just too bad because I'd really kind of gotten into S.H.I.E.L.D. a lot.
Yeah.
And then they went a direction that drained all my fucks away.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because the story leading up to it had been great.
Uh-huh.
And then...
Yeah.
And then it took me literally 15 minutes of watching Inhumans to never need to see it again.
Yeah.
So that didn't work for me. I never watched Agent Carter, although I probably would have liked that.
You probably would have liked the sensibility.
Because I love Cap so much and stuff, and I heard it was actually excellent.
It is. The sensibilities of it was very much like...
so I'd probably actually go back and watch that one. But, like, I don't know, S.H.I.E.L.D., it lost me or whatever. But I still think it's a slap in the face to these guys who are definitely... Their characters are valid characters and and should be considered to be part of the universe.
Yeah.
Even I know they say that they are, but they really just do not show this in any way.
It does not feel it at all.
No, it doesn't feel it.
It's like varsity team JV.
Nerds, TV nerds.
What are you, a mathlete? Fucking nerd. Like, it's like, what the shit? Come on, dude.
Mathlete, my balls.
Yeah.
Speaking of interesting and amazing things on the internet, I was laying in bed recovering from a lot of walking on our little trip that we took, which we'll talk about later on the show when we were joined by a special guest. But I was laying there and I'm scrolling through my Facebook and I see WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018. Jeff Jarrett in like his double J fucking begging strips top with the fucking cowboy hat and the ponytail, and I was like,
so bad.
What an awesome Photoshop that someone did! How hilarious!
Great joke.
It's not a joke.
It's not.
Those of you who are longtime wrestling fans, like this is the equivalent of like putting Ted Turner in the WWE Hall of Fame. Like this, the closest thing this reminds me to is when Vince hired Bischoff. Like, but I don't think he even hated Bischoff as much as he hated Jeff Jarrett because of one thing. Because of literally one thing. In 1999, Jeff Jarrett's contract expired the same night as the Fully Loaded pay-per-view, where he was supposed to wrestle Chyna in the Good Housekeeping match for the Intercontinental belt that they wanted him to lose to her, and he was like, okay, well, my contract is off. I'm working with no contract. If you want me to do this match, you'll pay me more for this, because I don't want to do this match.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose this match. I feel like it's not a legitimate thing. And not that he disrespected her or whatever, he just didn't feel like it made sense.
It didn't, because, like, okay, when you go back and look at this and stuff, this was a big thing for, like, Chyna... To get this title was a big thing, but it was not showcased that way in this match. This was
it was a junk match.
It was a slap and tickle match.
Yeah, it was a slap and tickle, fucking throwing household items and shit.
Yeah,
like, it was dumb.
It was a bullshit match to slide a belt to somebody in a shitty way. I feel like this should have.
And her and Jeff had a long-term feud.
Yeah.
Like, he had that He-Man woman hater character that he had done or whatever. Like, that was the evolution of his character.
Yep.
Like, things about it made sense, but realistically, whose fuck-up is that they didn't realize his contract was over?
And you know what? Okay, the other funny thing is, you'd think they'd have, gotten better about this by now, because the glaring what happened with Hall and Nash.
Yeah.
Like...
But then they let the same thing happen with Punk later on.
Yeah, you'd have this shit on lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's job needs to be specifically, like, tracking when these motherfuckers' contracts go up. Because whoever's doing that job fucking sucks.
And a lot of people give Jarrett shit for this, but I'm going to tell you, I don't, because it's a business. Mm-hmm. And Jeff Jarrett was born into this business. His father is one of the most prolific promoters in wrestling history, Jarrett. He knows how contracts work. He understands that, like, when you are to do something that you don't want to do, you need to get a little bit something for it. And he's not going to be with the company anymore, so he can't be like, okay, if I do this, then I need to be put over in this way.
Yeah.
His only bargaining chip is you need to pay me more. He knew he was leaving. He already signed another contract.
Yeah. Well, and this is the other thing, too, is, like, he's about to do a pay-per-view match with no contract, which also means if anything happens to him for some fluke of a reason during this thing, he's fucked. They're basically like, well, you're not under contract with us. You did it of your own volition. So you basically, you know...
Not only that, but he's heading to a competitor that is going to push him as a top-level talent.
Yeah.
But he's going out in a shit match and dropping a belt to someone at the time. In 1999, him losing that belt to a female competitor is a big fucking deal and devalues his stock greatly.
Yeah. Especially in the way that he did it. It's not like they're going out in this epic feud fucking battle where they just beat the tar piss out of each other.
They had a fucking slap and tickle hardcore match with Python and Flower.
He's losing in a fucking shitty WWF themed match because this is the golden days of that shit. It's literally like it is one of those giant slap in the face things. It's like, okay, well, if you're gonna slap me in the face, you better put some fucking bills in my pocket then, because like
the numbers are disputed, but the most consistent one that I heard was like $15,000 or something like that, at least.
Yeah.
And Vince was like, "Yeah, I'll pay him, but you'll never work for me again." Essentially.
Like,
okay. Well, at the time, it didn't matter, right? Yeah. So he left her. He did the job or whatever, and put her over. She looked good.
Yeah.
He left for WCW, and then years after WCW went over, he started TNA and kind of has been the only consistent quote-unquote competitor to WWE since then. He's also gone on to do other things. He attempted to do Global Force. Global Force kind of fell apart and got folded back into TNA. But Jeff's also had a problem, unfortunately. He lost his wife to cancer many years ago and developed kind of an unfortunate drinking problem. He ended up marrying Kurt Angle's ex-wife, Karen. But in the last few years, his drinking has become an issue, and he actually went to WWE-sponsored rehab back in October, and has been doing much better. He had kind of had a relapse recently, but has been doing better lately. Yeah. But it's just really it is shocking. Like I've seen Vince forgive people before, but it's very rare, and it's only if he feels like he's going to make money doing it. And I don't know if Jeff is a guy you're going to make any money off of. He's a great wrestling mind.
Yeah,
he's a good promoter, like in the respect that he knows how to work matches and promote and stuff.
This is the thing. Like I feel had Jeff been good, like from like it's sad that his wife passed. It's fucking horrible, and I, understand completely where he went from that and stuff like that. But if, some alternate reality, he had not gone down that road, I think he could have actually built a, legitimate competitor again. I feel like he could have built something. He could have built TNA up to be... a legitimate competitor.
No, Jeff is not to blame for what happened with TNA. Jeff, pretty early on kind of got left out of that process because, Jarrett dropped out of it pretty early. They sold out partially to Dixie Carter, and then Jeff kind of lost his balls in it because he got voted out, basically. And so this thing that he created and nurtured and tried to build got taken over by someone who had no business running a wrestling organization and proceeded to stomp on it for, the last 10 years.
Dude, oh my God. It's bad. It was like Vicky Guerrero level bad.
Yeah. Well, at least Vicky Guerrero knows the business better than fucking... Dixie Carter literally knows nothing about wrestling. And still knows nothing
but
about
I mean,
wrestling.
it's like not Vicky the person, Vicky the character.
Yeah, if you took the on-screen character of Vicky Guerrero and made her the leader of a wrestling organization.
That's
and not on-screen, backstage the leader.
Yeah, and that's literally what it was. It was like Vicky Guerrero, SmackDown GM, running TNA bad. Tough. And it was like, oh my God. And she had to be out there all the fucking time. Like, how Dixie Carter?
She had to turn herself into a character and
God, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to me because I don't know like if there's anything else. Usually when they Hall of Fame people, they do other stuff with them too, especially if it's a larger caliber guy.
Well,
so I wonder.
It's interesting because this is a stacked year though, because they've got Goldberg, which they did stuff with, Dudley's, which they've had done stuff with, and then was it Ivory? But she hasn't come back to do anything.
No, but I'm sure that they would. She's done a few things for the network here and there, and I was trying to think. I know that like they've been bringing in a lot of the classic girls, like Serena Deeb got a job at the Performance Center training women. After her really great performance in the Mae Young Classic and stuff, like they brought her back in to help train. So that's cool. Like Ivory would be a wealth of knowledge to help train.
As much as I respect, and it was awesome to see Jacqueline in the Rumble,
I would have rather seen Ivory.
I would have rather seen Ivory.
I was just happy to get Molly.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Molly was awesome. But actually, you know what? Keep Jacqueline. Take out fucking McCool. Fucking dude, bomb her ass the fuck out.
When you Spoggle the Undertaker, you're getting in the match.
Dude, oh my god, she was the worst part of that whole fucking thing she was literally like.
Well, it's a tie between her and Kelly.
Yeah, but Kelly
fucking terrible.
She was terrible, but she got fucking pretty quick. They let Michelle McCool fucking end fucking a bunch of motherfuckers. Yeah. And she was botching left and right. Just botchamania. And I was like...
Could have done an entire botchamania
I was like, that's because she doesn't have enough, upper body strength to lift a fucking 12, things of water. Like, she's just, this
She is basically a skeleton with a thin draping of skin. She looks like a Drower from Skyrim.
Yeah, I was just like... Oh.
Undertaker, why do you like creepy, man-faced blondes?
Dude,
this is the thing.
Yeah, it was bad. I was like,
his last wife before her was a freaky...
Sarah?
Yeah, creepy-looking man-faced
what DDP did the fucking that horribly bad fucking stalker shit with.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I would love to see them do some stuff with Jarrett. Not necessarily in the ring, although Jeff can still go.
Dude, but Jeff's a great mouthpiece.
But he's a great mouthpiece, and he's also a great wrestling mind as far as staging matches. He'd be a great agent. Go back there, staging matches and planning things and stuff, producer, what they call producers now, but they used to call road agents back in the day. He would be a fantastic producer. He's a guy who understands completely how to stage a match.
Him and Jesse James.
Yeah.
The Road Dogg.
They have a long-standing relationship,
And
that's another guy that they brought back who said a lot of negative shit about Vince, too. And the Dudleys said a lot of negative shit about him, too. So it's not unprecedented, but Jeff was pretty public. When Vince bought WCW on air as the character, he made a point to fire Jeff on TV.
Yeah.
Fuck
your character, you're out.
This, he made a point to do that.
Yeah. But again, this is one of those things where it's okay, we also have to remember where we're at right now. This could be not necessarily Vince bringing Jeff back.
Yeah.
But Triple H.
Yeah, I don't remember ever hearing that they specifically had any kind of relationship at all, but I don't remember them having any heat either necessarily.
No, and if Triple H is trying to build the best WWE he can build, and he knows the skills that Jeff has, that would be an asset, especially if the Road Dogg's dude.
Yeah.
He's good. You want him in here and stuff. That would be amazing.
To the point where, when they made the announcement of putting Jeff in there, they mention, part of the reason that he is going in is because of the opportunities he's been creating around the world for the last 15 years for people outside of the company, which, they don't generally acknowledge shit like that.
Yeah.
And to go that far to acknowledge that he created competition and created opportunities for guys that they now use.
Yeah.
Look at AJ Styles. It's one of their biggest stars. Without TNA, there is no AJ Styles in WWE.
Yeah.
Not in the capacity he's in.
No.
And even Kurt, it's all these things. Kurt, he started in WWF and WWE, but I would say he probably made his biggest mark because he spent more of his career in TNA than he did in WWE.
When you think about the fun, jokey, ha, Kurt Angle, that's the WWE and stuff. But the Kurt Angle that I think really as a character I liked watching more was definitely from the TNA, and that last bit too when he was in ECW.
because that's where you really saw that pre-TNA Kurt Angle. But that's like where he really got like more of a serious like, I'm a competitor, not a but joke, fucking laugh at me.
He had his best matches
he had
by far in TNA.
Yeah, he fucking literally like was wrestling guys that were like a lot younger than him, but just going balls.
And even with guys that are old, he had great matches with Sting. He had great matches with him and Samoa Joe had like amazing
that
matches.
Rivalry was
him and AJ
amazing,
had great matches.
Yeah.
Like this is you can't sweep TNA under the rug as far as that goes with quality of work and shit. But I think it's exciting. I'd love to see what his Hall of Fame speech is going to entail.
I'd love to see who they get to induct him.
I would guess probably either his father or Lawler, because they have a long history.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see, though. It will be, or Road Dogg, because they're old friends and stuff too.
Because they did the whole. That was where Road Dogg came.
The real Jesse James.
The real Jesse James. Yeah, because fucking Road Dogg. That was when Jeff Jarrett had that gimmick that he could actually sing and play the guitar, but it was really the whole fucking.
He had his like
Blues
"Be
Traveler,
My Baby Tonight" song or whatever,
and it was Jesse James.
It was Jesse James, his roadie,
who was
where
actually
the Road Dogg name comes from.
Yeah. So like that was interesting. I remember that.
JEFFJARET.
Yeah.
Ain't he great?
God, I hate his outfit though.
He did that fucking the double J strut and shit with the fucking weird ass
dude, that had
weird with those big multi strips
strap with his fucking long blonde hair.
The big double J glasses.
Oh god.
Then the one he had after that, where it was like the very like New Mexico colors, like with the two J's that connected, and
he
it was
looked
like a
singlet
and
bad
shit.
Chippendales dancer.
I actually liked his like character when him and Owen got together and with the original TNA Talent and Attitude with Deborah as their manager and shit, and like Jeff had the buzz cut and the glasses, and this is when he started carrying the silver guitar and being like the angry, pissed off guy. Like that's the Jarrett that I always liked the most.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But it's exciting to see him. I'm down for it totally.
It just wasn't believable at first because you're like, no.
You're like, Jeff, double J.
No. Yeah.
Double J. Okay. I want to throw a shout out to everybody that was at Planet Comic Con. I heard it was a huge, fucking, massive success this past weekend. I saw a lot of tweets from it. There's a lot of our friends there, so I'm sure that they all had a great time. We were indisposed doing other things, but like it would have been a fun one to go to. I'm sure.
Definitely.
We are still on track to go to Lexington. Speaking of shows, though, this coming weekend we're going to be at Jim and Dan's.
Yep.
The 25th Sunday. We're going to be there. Adam Fields is going to be there. Isn't the Roma guys going to be there too?
I believe the
Roma guys are going to be there too. It's
going
to be a fun show. Jim and Dan's is always great. We're going to have a bunch of stuff out there. I think we might be. I think we're doing the game. Watson's not going to be with us this time. I honestly just didn't. We didn't have time to coordinate. He's busy. I think
he's busy. Honest. So I don't know if what's going on.
And then we don't honestly have the space. We have we're trying to not take multiple cars to save gas money and shit like that.
Oh, but we will this time.
Oh, are we taking 2 cars this time?
Well, no, because I won't be here. I'll be in Dayton.
Oh, you'll already be there?
Yeah, I'll already be down in Dayton.
Well, that's cool. Convenient in some respect. So, either way, though, I'm sure. Like, I didn't get a chance to talk to him. He's been so busy. I haven't got a chance to get a hold of him, and I've been busy too. So,
been so busy schmoozing over that Black Panther movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, you know.
I mean, like I said,
I've heard nothing but good things about it. Yeah. So, I haven't got to see it myself yet. Hopefully, I will here soon. But
our mini Black Panther down here keeps clawing at me.
Love me.
I have been loving you, damn it, you fucker.
But no, we had you were very much looking to your peaceful weekend alone this past weekend.
It was so nice
because as any of you guys have seen that we're on my Facebook and on the Todd page this weekend and on our YouTube channel, saw that the Beesh and I were in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg in Tennessee having a vacation. And while we were doing that, what were you doing, sir?
I was rubbing my taint all over your guys' chairs.
All right, well, that's fair. I mean, everybody's got to have a hobby, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. Like, especially, like, where you guys, like, rest your heads. I think it was just full taint, maybe a little bit of, like, Brown Town. And then mainly I was just relaxing. It was nice.
Gifts, you bastard.
Yeah, I left you a gift on your chair. No, I mean, it was just nice because, like, usually I'm so busy on the weekends, and it's just weekends are a really hectic time. So it was kind of nice to just
peaceful, quiet time.
Yeah, not have to do anything. So it was like no sounds. The cats don't react the same way.
This is apparently a thing. Like, while we're here, they fight like cats and dogs, but they fight like cats and cats. Like, they have this long, hardcore match that happens every day where they're like RKOing each other and fucking suplexing and shit.
Yep.
While we're here, but apparently when we're gone, they don't do this. I don't know if they're like trying to fight for our affection or something.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like, they'll just be chill and like come lay down next to me while I'm relaxing. I'll pet them and stuff. There's no fighting. No, like, they won't even like run around. They'll just kind of like saunter around everywhere. And they mount a few times with the food bowl, and I was just like, "You have food. Shut the fuck up.
Shut your whore mouth. You have food,
water." But like, yeah, for the most part, they're just like, yeah. And then the moment you motherfuckers came through the goddamn door, it was just like fucking.
Like the bell just rang and the match started.
Go and there's. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's crazy. But you know, it was nice. And Sunday, I drove up to Michigan.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I've like actively avoided trying to ever go to Michigan. And then like I go up there by myself. But it was for a DAG thing, so, and it was like Monroe, so it was just over the border.
You had so much fun on the way back, didn't you?
It wasn't fun, it was just crazy. A 3-hour drive turned into a 6-hour drive because I got caught in the spot, like literally in Ohio, like just right by 33. I was about to get onto 33, and we got stuck on this fucking long country road, like right where the intersection is, just a ways back, because apparently, I don't know what necessarily caused it, but somehow a semi had veered off the country road and went straight into somebody's house. Like, just full on fucking...
I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Those poor people. I hope no one got hurt.
It was Stallone over the topping through their house. But, like, they had to get one of those, like, special, like... fucking tow trucks for semis. I think they actually had to have it get 2 because they had to hook it up and drag the semi out of the house. And they were basically like, I sat there for 2 hours, and they said it would probably be another hour if I didn't turn around and go back this other direction. So,
mother of God.
Yeah, that was fun. I was like, how fucked up would that be? Like, you live out in the country, like where it's quiet and everything, and then all of a sudden fucking trucker clock, who wants it?
Trucker clock, who wants it?
Your living room. Like, I hope nobody died. But
God, yeah, me too. But...
I mean, a semi going into a house is pretty hard to avoid. Like, you're like, so people may have died, mayhaps, who knows?
It's hard to say.
Yeah. But other than that, it was fun.
I was trying to find if there was a story about it. Let's see.
Semi truck crushes.
No, that was in August. Yeah, like apparently this is a thing that happens often enough to where it's not news. But
that I think it is.
People are like, man, it's just another semi truck mowing down some farmers. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Grandma and Grandpa got smeared. Grandma and Grandma got ran over by a semi.
Smacked into the chifferobe and shit.
In their fucking living room. Holy shit.
Oh, man. So, fun times. We're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and we will be back momentarily with part 2.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah? Are you good? You got something else?
Well, no, I have a poo.
Oh, well, that's a good reason to pause for the cause, then.
And then I need to make corn dogs.
And go now. And we're back. What was a split second for you was about 25 minutes for us. Yep. We were organizing food options. I'm eating some leftover Bojangles chicken that we got in Tennessee.
Cheez-Its and corn dogs.
Dave is eating corn dogs that we microwaved. And we are joined by a very special guest, my other half, the better half by far, who competes with Dave for my affection.
Gigi is upstairs.
The Basement Beesh herself, Ariel. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, I'm back.
And she has joined us so we can talk about our wonderful Todd and Beesh excellent Smoky Mountain adventure that we went on this past weekend. Now, I have been going to Pigeon Forge in the Smokies for my whole life. Like, literally, it is the vacation destination of my family by tradition. And last time I went was before the divorce. Which created so much fun.
Oh my god.
But Dave actually went with me last time, and he rode the Alpine coaster. We talked about it. We had videos. It was.
I feel like that vacation was fun and awesome, but it was like riding the Nuke down. Like it's that, like the cowboy, like
it's a Dr. Strangelove. Yeah. Pickens just fucking riding the bomb down. Yeah, that was that vacation, which culminated into a big ass fight in the parking lot of a leather store between me and my ex about her not wanting to fucking participate in the vacation.
Yeah.
So it was like a weird destination for us. It was like, hey, look, that's a parking lot I got to fight in. And I was like, oh.
It's a special place for me.
Todd likes to play the game like, look what happened here, or this thing is different. So it was, look what happened here. And most of the trip was, all these things happened here, and this thing was different.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I play that game everywhere I go. But we went down literally straight after work Friday morning. We worked until 5:30 because we took an hour off early so we could try to beat traffic, which we actually didn't do too bad. Like, we hit that Cincinnati traffic, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
No, it was much worse in Tennessee when I was driving in the dark and rain, and everyone wanted to drive me off the road.
There was a lot of that, yeah. Potholes are a serious issue. Like, holy fuck, potholes.
All I remember is coming back from that trip.
I told her about
Tara driving, and I was like, I just want to go to sleep, so when death inevitably comes, I will just slip right into it.
It got so bad that we had to pull off the frickin' road, and
I wanted to, but Tara wouldn't.
Going 50 miles an hour the entire way home. What should have been a 6-hour trip was a 9-hour trip.
No, we made it in 6.5 when we stopped at Walmart.
Yet somehow 50 miles an hour was scarier than 90 when she was driving.
I remember just getting angry texts from you like, why aren't you driving? I'm like, I'm so tired my eyes won't stay open, but I'm so afraid to sleep because death is coming.
I was just like, yeah, it's coming. We're going to die.
It's coming like a fucking freight train.
Yeah. You could feel like every 5 to 10 minute intervals hydroplaning. Like, woo.
It was bad.
Woo. There was a lot of that going up, too.
Yeah.
I thought for sure we were going to blow tires because we'd hit so many ridiculous chuckles on 71. But
Bubby's a tough car.
The car did well. I was impressed with its ability to not explode. I think what you don't realize when you're driving down there is that you're driving uphill for like 70% of the drive.
I sure as hell realized it.
Yeah. I did not quite grasp it until we were coming back. Because, like, going up there, it was raining, and so it's kind of hard to really tell what you're doing.
When I drove down to Georgia for an event, we did the same thing. It was like we're driving down to Georgia, but up a massive fucking thing the whole time. And I'm like, how does this work?
And that's what made it so hard on the drive up there is it was fucking raining, and everyone would use the momentum when you would go downhill to go uphill, and then everyone would slam on their fucking brakes.
Yeah.
So we had wet, slick road, and everyone slamming their brakes, and then everyone trying to regain momentum halfway up a steep fucking hill.
And more than half of it's all semis flying up your ass.
And they don't give a fuck. They won't slow down. Like, literally, I thought we were going to die at least twice, but the one time was when I was driving, and there was a semi behind us that was not going to stop, did not care if we were a speed bump or not.
Yeah.
Like, I was going 85 in a 70, and he was, like, literally an inch from my bumper until I could get over. And then he just barreled the fuck on past me. But people in Kentucky, and I love Kentucky, and my family lives there. It's a place that I have a lot of great memories from. They're all insane when it comes to driving on the roads, because there's no guardrails.
No.
And it's all around, switchbacks around mountains, and they all drive 150 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And giant pickup trucks. Yep. And we'll get pissed at you if you're not driving 150 miles an hour in a giant pickup truck.
Seriously, because I was driving like 80 at one point. And
then we'll run you off the road.
And it was raining, and I'm like, dude, I'm 80, and it's raining. This should be way fast enough for you. No.
They don't have to worry about...
They're flashing their lights at me. They're flipping me off. I'm like, sure, fucking go get yourself killed. Have fun. Bye.
See, they don't have to worry about hydroplaning because most of their trucks have like a 14-inch lift kit. So it's like they're fucking 9 miles up above the water.
So you're like,
and what's worse is the closer and closer you get to Sevierville is when you start to have that mesh of different drivers. So it was raining with Illinois and Alabama and Mississippi and Virginia and fucking we had some dude from Nova Scotia, all these idiots who don't know what the fuck rain is driving in this weather uphill. So it was awful.
And the native Tennesseans are trying to drive their normal way.
I bet the dude from Nova Scotia is like, fucking Americans.
Fucking Americans, eh? Yeah. Awful, can't drive. Everybody's crazy here.
They act like they ain't seen rain. We got mooses.
But, no, it was great. Like, the last time, it was fun because, like, I had you, and you had not been there before, so there was that level of excitement. Like, you were getting excited about seeing things or whatever. But, of course, you know, my ex is a good person, but she does not get excited about things. She is very Vulcan-y. So she was not giving a fuck. You would think, considering, like, I asked her to marry me there, it might hold some kind of fucking,
something.
Gotcha. No, nothing. Not an emotion, not a blip, whatever.
Not a fuck. Go.
I'm not bitter at all. But, like, being in the car with the Beesh going down there was like being with, like, a small child. Because, like, the whole time, she's, like, bouncing in her seat. Boing, 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 boing. Look at that thing! Look at that!
It was funny because I was so tired the first night because I'd probably gotten like 7 hours of sleep in the last 3 days. I get stressed. Rain trips. Poor Todd, bless his heart, dealt with that. So I get really stressed before trips, and I was procrastinating on packing, which I don't usually do. So before we left, I was just exhausted. So the first round through, I was like, yeah. And then the next day, I was like, look at that thing. He's like, I literally pointed that out to you last night. I was like, but it's so exciting now because I'm awake. And he's like, okay, whatever.
Which is funny because your kid was not like that at all.
Not a bit. She's been there many times too, but like...
And then I got really mad when we did our last went through, and I realized there was live crocodiles, and we couldn't go near them.
Yeah, that was
because
sad.
We just didn't have time. I was so mad. So that will be happening next time. Just fucking, or no, it was gators.
Yeah,
little gators,
alligators,
little baby gators.
Yeah,
and I want to go see
gators.
them. It had giant gator sign on it. Oh, so awesome.
So, there was a point where we were driving and I was half asleep.
Huh.
And I wake up to a hand throwing across my chest in a very mom mode sort of way. We're about to get hit, we're about to get hit, we're about to get hit. And I'm like, what the and she was right. Like, this guy, the people in front of us slammed on their brakes, of course. This guy was not stopping, not even a little.
I must also add that I literally had 2.5 car lengths in front of me before this happened. Because I was keeping my distance while still keeping up with the speed. Like you said, everyone's going 150. So I'm going 80. I got a good distance in this rain. So I slam on my brakes. The guy behind me doesn't realize I'm slamming on my brakes. I hit my hazards. He still doesn't realize what's going on. So I throw my hand over in mom mode because, yes, my tiny arm is going to hold a 600-pound man. And
not 600 pounds? Jesus Christ!
400-pound man. You're 600 when you're moving in the vehicle.
That's what you think of me? Shit is coming out.
Apparently, you become the immovable.
About to fucking turn into an episode of Ricky Lake.
You become the unstoppable force in motion.
So I keep trying to
fucking viscera in the car.
Trying to stop him with my tiny little arm.
Right.
And this dude, he gets almost to my bumper and switches lanes last minute, and it actually shifts the car. He never actually touched me, but it was enough force to shift the damn car.
that close enough momentum where he was close enough to where the wind disturbance moved our car.
Damn.
Yes. And then the show grinds to a halt as you watch shit on your phone when we're recording.
Yep.
So we get there finally. We get into Sevierville, and it's starting to get exciting because when you get down there, all the stuff starts popping up. The big knife outlet is there, which Dave was in love with the last time we went down. Which I will admit is one of the coolest stores I've probably ever.
It's like all dead things and sharp things and gun things. And
I'm so sad we didn't get to go.
It was like where Republicans go when they die.
Oh God, the closer you got to Tennessee, the closer you got to I love Trump, #1 Trump, everybody loves Trump, Trump, suck Trump's dick. I fucking hated all these goddamn bumper stickers. I was so done. And fucking NRA this, and I was like, ugh. And I don't think there was a single fucking gift shop I went to or single fucking place I didn't swing by. Didn't have some kind of like God saves you, love Trump sign everywhere. Closer and closer you got. It was awful.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
But
there's no story we went into in Tennessee that didn't love Jesus and love Donald Trump at the same time, which is very juxtaposing positions in my
Surprised
opinion.
they didn't wear like Donald Trump is Jesus.
Trump saves. Like, get the fuck out of here.
But yeah, we finally made it, and first thing we did was gun-hoed to the Airbnb to see if we could find where it was. But
it was great. Like, I was very scared of the whole Airbnb thing because of the concept of it is terrifying to me. And I have some experience in the area, although I can't say exactly what, but I do have some experience.
But also, like, you know, where you're at, too.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, okay, I'm not, like, Airbnb in, like, Chicago versus Airbnb place in, like, the Deep South.
And the Deep South tourist trap.
Yeah. Like, oh, this could be bad.
But it was a beautiful golf resort. It was a condo, like an apartment condo. It wasn't one of those ones where you're going and staying in somebody's fucking house and they're there. Like, the creepy shit like that. It was just basically like renting a condo. Cool. And the beautiful fireplace, like all this gorgeous furniture. The bed was the most pillowy, soft, like IKEA bed that you've ever sat on before. Like, pillowy soft to a ridiculous level. And directly next to it was a jacuzzi tub within full view of the big screen television that was in there as well. So I was watching Star Trek on Netflix, Deep Space Nine, while jacuzziing, which was a lovely thing.
The only problem with the bed...
Butt-ass naked.
Yes. The only problem with the bed is that Beesh likes to spread herself out like a fucking dog.
Or a queen-size
bed. It was very hard for me to sleep, but I found a way. Most of it was pretty much almost completely on top of him.
I was about to say, is it like L-shaped? Like he's this way and you're across that way?
I was pretty much like on top of him, like over his stomach, like just cuddle, like deep cuddle.
I'm gonna lay on you. You are part of the bed now.
Yes, it was exactly like sleeping with a dog.
We did sully the bed.
We did.
So sullied.
I'm sure
the most sullied.
The first.
Won't be the last.
Let's hope they did the sheets in between.
They were very nice. Everything was very nice. Yeah. And the view was good and bad. Like, the view out the front door was the most beautiful view you could imagine. It was just like mountains and fog. Like, gorgeous, beautiful, and big
and
other big resorts that you could
see the Ferris wheel or whatever.
From the island,
Yeah. Which was really cool, and you could see like all the lights from the town, which was really cool. Mm-hmm. But out back, it was just golf course, which really was also like trees and stuff.
But it was like dead trees, golf course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it still wasn't bad, and it was like
a 4-foot tall crane
there.
that landed in one of the trees and scared the shit out of me. I was like, "What is that? Is that
what that is?
Is that a pterodactyl?
It's coming to eat me."
So, I had a lot of fun on the strip. We stayed in Pigeon Forge, of course. This is the first time I'd ever not stayed on the strip. Because, like, all the hotels you stay at, well, pretty much all the hotels are on the strip itself. If you've never been there before, it's a very touristy sort of place. It's just filled with, like, museums and mini golf courses and shitloads of arcades and all these, like, dinner theater shows and stuff. And then they have this big Titanic museum down there that's actually shaped like a Titanic hitting an iceberg, which is totally classy. And a lot of people huckstering, trying to sell you shit and tickets to shit. And they have this place called The Island, which is kind of a newer thing. It was built like right before we went, I think, the last time. The Island.
Is that where we went?
Had
where the big Ferris wheel is, and
I did
you did the ropes course.
Okay. The Island is like
baked mac and cheese.
Which, by the way, man, next time we go, I'm doing that ropes course.
Dude, that ropes course is.
I'm gonna have to lose a little more weight to feel more comfortable, but when we're doing over Gatlinburg, because he won't do it because it doesn't have an enclosed thingy. But yeah,
sounds good to me.
Yeah, so there's like
y'all can risk death if you want.
So much stuff. Okay. The best way I could explain the Island is take Kings Island, but all the coasters out, just like the little amusements, plus like an outlet mall, and mush it together.
Yeah.
Like an outdoor outlet mall, which was fantastic. I freaking loved it. It was. I seriously felt like I was 6 running around. I stopped in like every single shop I could. And then if there was a shop that looked stupid, I would look at it for 5 seconds and be like, no, I'm good, and walk away. find another shop and wander around in it.
No.
Pretty much.
Ariel's favorite shop was the handbag store, which the little Korean lady was running, who was the leg humperiest lady.
I walked in, and I swear to God, I didn't even fucking see her. She was like a goddamn ninja, and I was like, oh, that looks like a cool bag. She's like, oh, you like this style? I'll give it to you for $45. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went to the bag, and I was like, oh, that's a cool bag. She's like, oh, I can give you that one for $50. I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave now. Bye.
I was like, oh, no, I give it to you even cheaper. And I was like, don't make eye contact with anybody here. We went to the Paula Deen restaurant.
Oh my God.
Which is an enormous place. Like, it's 2 stories. The bottom story is all a gift shop. It's glass walls. Everything is, like, very open.
It's everything you ever want. There's
butter.
Butter stuff. There's little prop things for your cats to say, meow, y'all. And there's all kinds of awesome shit. And also, if you ever wanted to be cosplay Paula Deen, you can. So I think I'm going to. They have her whole wardrobe there. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a wig, y'all, and dress and get lots of butter and be racist. It's going to be wonderful.
It's going to be great. Racism don't taste so good. But you get there, and there's a big escalator that goes up. You walk over. And, like, they have a counter set up and shit. And a lot of the restaurants I notice have this sort of deal going on where they ask you for your phone number and they text you when your table's ready.
Which is really cool.
Which is cool. So we were shopping around and finding stuff that we wanted. And then they call us up to go up there. And you go up the escalator and the whole second floor is just dining room. And it probably legit sat about 800 people. It was fucking enormous.
Gorgeous.
So...
And, of course, being Paula Deen's, like, the booths were giant.
Yeah, giant booths. There was all kinds of people in there. I'm not going to lie, every time a black family came in, I started laughing. Because the look some of the people were giving, not great. Oh, yeah. I think Paul is somewhere, like, you know, where's that guy with the cattle prod, y'all? Get them out of here.
Can we get them to go?
Like, how about togetherness, Paula? Everybody can die of, cholesterol.
I think as long as they were paying.
Well, that's the thing. When you got up the escalator, you were greeted by a nice, large cardboard cutout of Paula Deen sitting there welcoming you to the restaurant. I feel like if somehow she was there in spirit, it would have scowled as soon as...
it would have been animatronic scowl.
Cardboard cutout went all cringy like.
The food was beyond fantastic. Let me tell you all right now that if you go down there, do not be on a diet. Stop all medication you're taking that causes you to not eat food, which I fucking should have. Because
I was about to say.
Oh my God!
People on diets know who Paula Deen?
Oh my! No, not just Paula Deen. Every fucking restaurant down there. The serving sizes were ginormous.
Yeah.
We got an appetizer and it fed the both of us.
And the thing is,
I freaking couldn't eat crap because I'm on a new medication that's causing me to restrict my stomach because of some medical issues I'm going through, and it's been awful. And the fact that I ate Paula Deen's and was not hungry for the rest of the day was awful because there was so much more I wanted to eat, but it was so delicious. And I probably ate the most cheesy grits I've ever eaten in my entire life.
It's pretty great. Breakfast seems to be the best deal as far as, like, the price goes. But it was amazing. They had this amazing peach iced tea with peaches floating in it that was like, God made it for me and set it on the table. They don't bring you bread like a regular restaurant when you get there. They bring you, like, a plate full of cinnamon rolls, like, drowning in fucking that white, frosting and shit.
It changes.
I assume it's different for whatever it is.
Of the day. Or, like, the time of day and whatever it is for that whatever reason. So, like, this one for us, it was like these little pecan tart, awesome cinnamon rolls that were delicious and covered in 10 tons of diabetic sweetness. Mm-hmm. And then fresh squeezed orange juice, which I wanted to fucking take some with me and hop over to the moonshine place and make it a really fancy screwdriver. It was really good shit.
It was a lot of fun. It was delicious, absolutely delicious. And it wasn't, like, as expensive as you would think it would be, considering the amount of food that you get. I would recommend it, definitely. It's fun, at least, for, like, to see the gift shop and stuff is a lot of fun. You don't have to pay, obviously, to go in there. But you will be paying out the ass if you buy shit.
I very much regret the amount I spent on a t-shirt, but I very much love the t-shirt, so.
What is a t-shirt?
It is a t-shirt. It says, I love you like butter on a biscuit. Yeah.
It was
a freaking $5 candy bar that looks like a fucking block of butter.
Yeah, it looks like a stick of butter.
And it feels as dense as a freaking stick of butter. Like, I'm actually afraid to open it. Like,
it may kill you just by touching it.
I regret almost getting it, but it looks so cool.
You may have a heart attack just by touching the chocolate itself.
I'm pretty sure I already did. I had a heart attack when I got it up on the freaking counter, and it's paid $5 for it.
Yeah, I was not willing to do so.
I was like, I don't want, just ring it up.
I did get a great plastic cup with a straw that says put some South in your mouth.
Yeah.
Which I found suitably filthy for me to own.
Hilarious.
But that was fun. Then we spent a lot of time just going around the various shops of the island. The island has a lot of cool stores and little boutique kind of places. They had this one horrific place where there's parrots, and that's hell. And Todd doesn't go in the hell. Todd doesn't go in hell. But I went in there for about maybe 30 seconds and was like, all right, you're on your own. I'll be outside hiding from this shit. I don't like parrots or birds of any sort.
So if you do go in, if you do like birds, first off, they're going to try to sell them to you because they're little, they're all saved. All these birds have
They love Jesus
rescued.
too.
Yes, they do. But they've all been rescued, and they're going to try to sell these little baby parrots to you. And the adult parrots, if you want to, they will actually put them on your shoulder. And I couldn't find out how much because there's so many people in there. My anxiety was starting to peak, but apparently there's you can get pictures taken with the parrots. The one parrot though, he was a year old and he was a little shit. And every time someone had a fucking dog outside the window and they brought it up to the window, and apparently because she was getting all huffy about it, apparently people like to pick up the dogs and stick them against the glass so they'll bark at the birds, which freaks the birds out.
Such a dick move.
This bird was so mad, he was screaming and squawking and cussing at this fucking dog I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. It was just ridiculous. And then at one point when the dog fucking walked away, the bird was still riled up enough that he started talking to his little string toy, and he's like, come here, and started beating the shit out of it. It was messed up.
Yeah, birds are
and then at one
Satan.
point she went and grabbed her spray bottle and acting like it was cat, you stop that, and was like, all right, I'm done. But the little birds were cute, and it was a neat experience, and it's like a preview to another spot where it's like a bird island.
Yeah, it's a bird sanctuary place. I watched a video of it. It literally looked like hell.
You can feed the birds and shit, but yeah, no, I at least enjoyed seeing the birds, but I like zoos and
hey,
stuff,
if you want to take a baby parakeet home with you, they only cost about $1,700.
Yeah.
So, just in case you had a little change jiggling around
yeah.
and you wanted to take home a horrible bird.
$1,700 $1,500 for I don't remember what it was.
An amazing beef jerky outlet, which I remember we took a big advantage of last time we were down there.
Beef jerky outlet. Tasty.
There's a Build-A-Bear, which we built deers in the Build-A-Bear because thank you for Christmassy post-Christmas clearance, but there was these cool deers in there, and we built one for the basement baby. She will get when she comes over this week, and one for you two, which was great.
Made Basement Deer.
Basement Deer. He's a nice looking fella.
He's very
He had another
suave
name,
with
but we
his
said
bow tie.
fuck you on that. And he has a bow tie. He's apparently a hipster. We'll make him a little mask. That'll be great.
Southern hipsters are the best thing I've ever seen. It is the cutest little thing. They're like, hey, y'all, I'm hipster, and I don't like tight pants. Just kidding, I do.
The first night we went to a little steakhouse for dinner. It was called the Goat something or other.
Local goat.
And our waiter had
the biggest
Brill cream hair and a little curly Q mustache
Not
and
little.
a tiny little fucking goatee.
Very big, very clean mustache with overall suspenders, but nice tight jeans.
He looked like a refugee from 1800s barbershop quartet.
It was just so many fucking...
It's like you look at him and you know he vapes.
Little southern... There's so many vape shops down there.
Yeah, there's a lot of vape
You
shops.
can't escape them.
It's Vaporpalooza. It's definitely Vaporpalooza. But the entire trip was filled with just super fun times. Gatlinburg is great if you're an adult and you want to go get blitzed, because they have wine tasting places and moonshine tasting places and other moonshine tasting places and other wine tasting places, and you're tasting a lot of it and not feeling no pain.
Regrets of Todd forgetting what a margarita versus a daiquiri is.
Okay, yeah, this is a thing because I don't like tequila, and Dave can verify that I don't like tequila. It tastes like piss, and it makes me sick. So, we were in this Mexican place for lunch called Loco Burro.
Yep.
And they had an animatronic singing donkey in there, but he was not working, and it made me very sad. But they also had a, like, you know how they have mechanical bulls in the country bars and stuff? They had a mechanical donkey that you could ride in there with, like, the inflatable ring around it and shit. Which that would have been a lot of fun if I wasn't a giant fat guy. But I ordered a margarita because it was frozen in peach. And I thought, hey, frozen peach thing that has booze in it. You can't lose with that. But I forgot that margaritas have tequila in them. And daiquiris are the things that I like that don't have tequila in them. It's an easy mistake to make. Yeah. Come on. Like.
And so remember that time I said that I was on new medication? So sweet things upset Beesh's stomach. So I drank like less than a fourth. And poor Todd had to drink the rest of it.
I did. I drank it, and I drank that fucker too. Like, I was like, I paid $7 for this. I'm drinking it. This is happening. Like, I don't give a shit if it's got tequila in it. Thankfully, it wasn't that rank-ass tequila I'm used to drinking. It was that, like...
It was super peachy, though.
Agave, like, the nice tequila. I guess whatever you could call nice tequila. Like, the super distilled hipster tequila, you know? So it wasn't as bad as raunchy-ass tequila that my ex used to drink. So it was good. It was very peachy. Thankfully, it was sweet enough to kill the stank of the tequila for the most part. But that place was great. I would totally recommend it. They have amazing nachos that are very cheap in there that have great chicken and all that.
Yeah, really, the price wasn't bad at all. Considering where it's at and what it serves, like, the prices were really good.
We did a lot of little... Go ahead.
They also had stools at the bar that looked like asses.
Yeah, there were stools that looked like legs and asses, and they were hilarious. I took many pictures of them. One of them was a Superman ass. That was really fucking funny. Some of them looked like you were sitting on a donkey and had, like, horse hair coming out the back of his tail. And one of them, I took a picture of it, I posted it. It worked extremely well because the lady who was sitting on it, her coat was going down over the edge of it just enough so it actually looked like it was her ass hanging out of the bottom of the coat.
It was great.
It was pretty great. I would recommend it. They had some really wacky t-shirts that were a lot of fun there, too. If you ever wanted to, like, buy t-shirts or nunchucks or, like, replica swords or something, Gatlinburg is the fucking place for you. Because they have a lot of stores that sell, like, replica weapons from fantasy things. Mm-hmm. And they're very cheap knockoff versions, but there are a lot of cool stuff. Like, there was a really great cap shield that I kept looking at in a couple different places. But it's a weird thing. Like, it doesn't seem like that would be a thing to fit. Because she's like, are hillbillies into weapons? And I was like, oh, God, yes.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, they love anything that's a ninja weapon or, like, nunchucks or fucking swords. Like, there's something with hillbilly ninja shit. I don't know what it is.
There was a lot of it.
There was a ton of it down there. But we had a blast. Like, we went to the Ripley's Aquarium. That place is beautiful. Like, it's worth a trip alone just to go there.
So great. I was so sad when I realized it was over. But I think we spent like 30 or 40 minutes with the manta rays. Just sitting there and petting them. And I got to feed a couple of them. I actually...
That's a new feature, by the way. They didn't have that feed a manta ray thing last time. Like, now you can pay like $3 and they'll give you fish, and you can put them on a little stick and feed them.
Which he could not help me. It was so funny because I have nails now, and it's really hard for me to do a lot of things. And I picked up this little fish, and it still had its eyes and everything. And he's like, you know what? I can't help you. So I just had to like squeeze it and stick it. I like stuck this bar through the back of its head, and he was just like, ah!
I'm not a fisherman, nor would I ever be one, because touching fish is gross, and touching worms is even more gross.
So I stuck this bar in its back, and I stuck it in the water, and there was this really, really big one. He was old, and he came up often every time I was on the edge, and he would just kind of wait for me in my short little arms to try to reach down and pet him. But I gave him like two fish, I think, and then I gave his Todd's favorite little guy, the bottlehead one. It was all spotty.
Yeah, he was really cool.
I gave him one too, and they were all very happy. And like you would feed them, and then they would like splash around and spin around, and then come back up and like push as much weight as they can to get up to the side so that you could pet them.
They're friendly.
Like cats.
Yeah, they're very friendly.
They like food,
I didn't
and
realize,
they like pets.
until I did it the first time, I didn't realize how friendly like stingrays actually are. They're super fucking friendly. They want to be touched. Like, they like to be petted. And they have a very interesting, it's like very neoprene sort of texture to them.
Wet, slick
like
neoprene.
A wet, slick neoprene. Like, you remember, you touched them last time, didn't you?
Yeah. Touched jellyfish, too.
And jellyfish, that was really cool. Yeah. We did that last time. They've added some stuff, though, since we went. They have a glass bottom boat thing now. You know, like, when you go to the top where it's the surface of the tunnel? they have a glass bottom boat that goes around that little thing, and you can sit in it and look through from that perspective too. We didn't do that because it cost an additional like $11, which I was like, fuck you, I'm not paying $11 to take a 5-minute boat ride around a inside lagoon. But like the most entertaining thing in the world is to be at this little fake reef thing that they've built there where you can touch the manta rays, and it's kind of like tricky because you really have to get over there to get your hands in the water, especially if you're a short shit like the Beesh is. So she's like flat out laying like a small child on top of this fake reef, like dangling her tiny little
Somebody
arms
comes up,
there.
all those kids need to get off that wall. Like, hey, fuck you, man. Oh, sorry, man.
And my big ass is like laying flat on my gut on this thing, I'm like elbow deep in this water.
What was the one in Cleveland? Was that the one when we went to where I stuck you in that little like the wheelchair one? Remember that one? I like had to like fucking like suck it in and like hang over the fucking thing to try and touch one. I was like, oh my god, this is not conducive to like actually touching a fucking.
Theirs is very conducive.
Yeah,
like, you just kind of get up on it and stuff, but like, man.
Don't wear any long sleeves.
Yeah, don't wear long sleeves. Just
Pack
stink
your
like fish.
coat somewhere. Oh my god, I wore a freaking hoodie and I rolled it up as far as I could, and I still ended up with like I would walk around, and every once in a while I'd like make Todd smell my sleeve and my hands and be like, hey, smell this.
I'm like, we're not frat brothers. I don't want to smell your weird pussy hands. Like, don't fuck.
Lots of fish.
Just a finger bag to manta ray.
Oh god.
Frank says hi.
We watched the show where they feed them in the big, they have like a big wall of the aquarium there where they feed the mantas, and it's cool to watch them eat the little octopuses and shit.
This is where I would like put the fingers right under his nose again and be like, I was inside that one.
I was scratching his beard a few times, so he's like, oh no.
Get it out real quick and then rub it on his beard. You're going to be smelling that for the rest of the day, motherfucker.
I tried to do it when I was touching the little fishies.
No.
The high point of Gatlinburg, besides the aquarium, was Sugarland Distillery, which was like a moonshine distillery. They have I don't know what it is about moonshine down there, but they have about 9 million moonshine
They like
distilleries.
it. It's good.
They love it, and they love to make it.
There's a lot of good wine all the way up to there, so we were already like a little like
catching a little wine buzz, you know.
And then there was like the regular Old Smoky moonshine, and then we saw this little Sugarland one, and he's like, let's go in here. I was like, there's a lot of people in there. He's like, we'll do it. It'll be okay.
They sound like they're having fun. So when you go in there, they check your ID, and they charge you $5, and they give you a wristband. So you go over, they have all these like round bar table things, right?
There's
like maybe about
3.
20 people could
There's
fit out
one in the front, one in the middle, and one all the way in the back.
So anyway, so there's a big round table, about 20 people fits there. And the guy who's like your bartender, he was big scrawny dude with a big old long beard, like down to his belly, like very much your typical head of the holler looking guy, like mountain man, like on that Mountain Man Moonshiner show and shit that they have on Discovery. Like he looked like that. His name was Guyver. I'm not joking, and that was his name, like spelled like Guyver, like the fucking awesome,
Guyver minus the Mac.
Guyver, So his name was Guyver. He had like a fucking coonskin cap on. He was hilarious. He was, spouting jokes and shit. And they do a tasting thing of 12 different moonshines. Mm-hmm. And like they have these little cups. Like, okay, if you're Catholic or if you've been to communion before, it's a communion cup. It's the one that they give you, the blood of Christ. Also great for moonshine. So it's probably about an ounce and a half, maybe 2 ounces of liquor. But 12 times is a good amount of booze. Yeah. And all of them are minimum 70 proof. Most of them are 100.
The last 3 were 40.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the cream liquor ones were 100 and were 40 proof. Still pretty high.
Most were 70.
So, they give you, like, it's basically like going to a bar and getting a flight of whiskey or, like, a flight of beer or something where you try different ones. So he goes through a spiel and talks about each one of them, and then he pours it, and everybody drinks it together and shit. And, like, if you don't want one of them, you can put your hand over your cup, and they'll mock you. Vociferously.
It's so bad. Like,
so I just said fuck it and drank them all.
There was actually one girl who put her hand over the cup, and when she pulled her hand back, he poured it anyway. He was like, "You paid for this, drink it."
Yeah. So
I'd have just been like,
"Fuck you, Hillbilly Jim." So I tried a bunch of ones that I wouldn't normally. There was a coffee one which tasted kind of like liquored up Yoo-hoo, which actually wasn't bad. There was and I don't do cream liquors, like Dave can attest to this, like anything Kahlua or any of that nasty Bailey's shit, like
Whoa. I call it Bailey's. Nasty, motherfucker.
It is nasty.
To your sensitive
To me, it is nasty.
To your sensitive little
close to Bailey's. Like,
it tasted like Yoo-Hoo with booze in it, which was I was about it. I don't think I could drink a large amount of it because it's the milky texture fucks with me. Mm-hmm. But there was a creamsicle one that was not as good as I had hoped it would be. My favorite ones were the peach, which was fucking amazing, of course, and I love peaches. The lemonade, which was it tasted like limoncello, and the sun tea one, which literally tasted like sun tea. Like you could barely taste the booze, and it was really strong.
My favorite were the lemon, the one that was cinnamon, tasted like Red Hots. But I'm a big Fireball fan, so and then the last one, which was like a butter pecan sort of deal.
Yeah, that one tasted like a drunk pecan pie or something. It was weird.
It was so good. The apple one was pretty good too.
The apple one was great. It was like Granny Smith apples with a caramel back tilt on it.
And he had like steps on that one. Like, and this was why he made everyone drink together. You like smelled it, and then you like drank it, and then you had to like breathe out, and you could like feel the different layers.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you take the drink of it, it just tastes like apple, but when you breathe out, then you tasted the caramel. Which is kind of weird.
It was so cool.
It was a trip, but by the time we left there, I had already sampled wine. I had already had the fucking margarita, and then I just drank 12 shots of fucking moonshine. So I was drunk. I was not like stupid drunk, but I was drunk enough to be like, well, it's kind of warm out here. Like, then we stumbled out and did another travel vlog, which I was really surprised, and I'm continually being surprised that the little travel vlogs that we did, I uploaded them to YouTube, and they're actually getting a lot of like attention, which I was like really kind of shocked by, because they're very simple, like 2-minute videos of us just talking about what's going on. But we did that and we had fun, and I was like, I hit a personal goal, because the last time, Dave will remember this, last time we went, I was in better shape than I had been, but I was still not in great shape. And Gatlinburg is literally walking uphill the whole time. Like, and we started at the aquarium, we did the aquarium, and we started walking up the last time we went. And I made it about to this taffy place that's about 3/4 of the way up the hill. And I was tapped the fuck out and couldn't get any further. And I was mad at myself. You remember this, I'm sure, sir. I was like mad at myself for not making it all the way up the hill. And everybody was just like, no, you did good. Like, you made it this far. Like, what? And I'm like, no, fuck that. I want to make it all the way up. But I couldn't, and it sucked. And the walk back to the car was some of the most excruciating leg pain I've ever been in my life. But this time, even hammered, I did make it to the top of the hill, so I was very proud of myself for that. Mm-hmm. And then I walked back, and then by the time we hit the Ripley's parking lot, I was feeling like tears about to come because my legs and back were hurting so bad. But then we looked at the Fitbit that she wears afterwards, and we'd walked basically like 12 miles in 2 days, so not all that shocking that I'm not doing great right now. Every step for me right now is quite agonizing. I've been hobbling around the house all day, and it's unfortunate. But we had an absolute blast. It was hard to leave, especially because we had done shit all day, and it was like 6 o'clock at night when we left. But it was hard to leave. It's a place that means a lot to me, and I can't wait to go back. And we're going to try to go back later in the year and do it as a more of a trip with friends and whatnot, and have a good time. So that'll be fun. But I'm looking forward to it.
I am too.
And I'm sad that we're not still there.
Me too.
Dave's sad that he's not parading around the house butt naked alone. I'm sure. I mean, realistically,
y'all don't know what I do in the living room when you motherfuckers are asleep.
Realistically, he could parade around butt naked now, and it wouldn't fucking matter. I wouldn't even bat an eye at this point. But pretty much. So that's basically all of the trip related nonsense and whatnot. We had a good time. Are you excited to go back, young lady?
I'm very excited to go back. I've already started planning. I've already got like a budget plan and everything. I've already been looking at possible cabins down there and other things. And
cabin would be cool. I would like that.
I'm ready. I already miss it. I'm sad that there was a lot of things that I wanted to do. I overplanned for a short amount of time.
Oh, good lord, yes. There's a lot we fucking shoehorned into a very short amount of time.
This is also my first vacation in many, many years. I enjoy conventions, but I don't necessarily consider them vacations because they're very high stress for me.
Yeah.
Because of my anxiety and whatnot. But this was my first vacation since I was probably 12, and it was very emotional for me. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed spending time with Todd alone and not having to worry about work or other things, and
with small children boogieing in their bedrooms.
It was nice.
It was a blast.
It was very exciting, and I'm sad to be gone, but I had a great time, and I can't wait to go back.
All right. Well, I'm glad you had a good time, and I can't wait to take you back down there. And thank you for sliding in and joining on the show. There's a couple more things we want to talk about before the end, though, and we're getting to about the 1 hour 15 mark. So, 2 big trailers dropped. 2 teasers, I guess you would say. The Venom teaser, which I don't know, I found utterly pointless. Like, other than one small scene of a symbiote in a tube, I could not have told you this was a movie related to a comic book or B, Venom the character. Yeah. It's a bunch of Tom Hardy running around.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like a fucking Liam Neeson movie or something. Like, Tom Hardy's lost his daughter. Like, that's essentially what it was. Like, and then there's one, like, brief seconds long shot of a symbiote in a jar. There's nothing to indicate this is a Venom movie in any respect. I mean, of course it's a teaser, right? There's not gonna be much.
Yeah, I don't really I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. There is actually a movie happening. Until I see a full trailer, I don't get excited, because teasers for the most part are just kind of we're gonna show you the least amount of shit we can, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
There's just nothing I feel like a teaser should give you a little something that's oh wow, that's the thing you take away from it. Oh, this makes me really jazzed to see the real trailer, or oh my god, I'm so excited to see this because of this tiny thing. A glimpse of something cool, and a fucking black vomit bubble in a tube is not enough for me to be oh my god, my dick, oh. Plus, okay, I was kind of hoping that this wasn't going to be the Eddie Brock Venom, because they're basically separating it completely from Spider-Man, and how the fuck do you do this?
That we know of. That's the thing.
From what they're saying.
Yeah, from what they're saying, but I mean...
How do you do this when Eddie Brock's origin story is so fucking tied into Spider-Man? And the Venom symbiote in general is so tied into Spider-Man. This is a difficult thing. There have been rumors that it might have been the more recent Venom,
Flash
Thompson, which is still a Spider-Man character, but you could have taken it out. So I don't know. It did nothing for me. I'm not excited to see it.
I just want to see what it. I want to see if it looks better than the one from Spider-Man 3.
It's probably gonna.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I want to see if he has the spider on the chest, because that's how did he get that? Because if he never hooked up with Spider-Man, then how does this go down? I don't know. I'm reserving judgment till I actually see a full trailer and see something substantial. Other than that, meh. I don't know.
Then there was Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Which apparently pissed you off more than me.
I wouldn't say it pissed me off. It didn't do anything for me, because, I don't know. The first one I really enjoyed, but this one kind of, I don't know, felt a little lackluster. I don't know.
It did nothing for me. I love the first movie. I love it. I mean, it's dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And, this one was kind of oh, yeah, here's all the characters that I like, and it picks up literally right where the other one ends.
Yeah.
And I was yeah, that's exciting.
But it doesn't have that same feeling as, that family connectedness. It seems almost again, they're just okay, well, we find some inane-ass reason to make them all, split up again.
Seems like it's a lot about the baby.
It is, because it's the Groot theory, oh, tiny baby things are cute, yeah, cool. And then, the mom's off doing this, and dad's well, I gotta be the dad and take care of the thing. And I'm that's cool and all, but, when we left them, these motherfuckers, it took an entire movie to come together as a super family.
Yeah.
And now you're okay, not anymore. Now only mom gets to be the superhero, and I'm hey, guess who gives no fucks?
Well, again, like we say, though, this one, again, is only a teaser, and, there could be a lot of story that we're just not seeing.
Yeah, and that's why I said that trailer did nothing for me. I'm still really excited to see Incredibles 2.
But I also think it did a better job as a teaser than the other one did. It showed you elements of everything. It let plot elements drop in there. Yeah. It was effective enough to make you want to see more.
And then, I mean, it's also a little bit easier because it's a sequel, so you already if I had never seen Incredibles, I wouldn't have known a fucking thing of what was going on there. I'd have been like, oh, okay, some crazy superhero shit.
Like, even that Star Wars, like, Force Awakens teaser that I hated so much did a better job than that Venom teaser did.
That's fair.
Like, the Venom teaser, literally, you could have been like, Tom Hardy is in a Tom Clancy movie. Like, literally, that's what it was like, except for the fucking... Like, you could have even kept the bubbling fucking thing in there and just been like, it's some sort of weird MacGuffin. Like...
Yeah, had it not had the thing at the end that, like, let you knew... Like, had nobody known a Venom movie was being made and the thing at the end, you could have just been like, dude, it's a sequel to Phantoms, yo. Tom Hardy in Phantoms 2.
The Reckoning.
Yeah. Ben Affleck's the bomb in Phantoms, yo. Like, shit, come on. You wouldn't have fucking known. It's crazy. Like, what is this shit? Because, like,
the fact that this was even a Venom trailer, I'm more shocked than fucking Scott Baio was this week. Like,
what the shit? Motherfucker. What the shit?
It's a sad week for Scott Baio. I'm just going to mention that. I'm not going to mention why, but, like, if you've been reading the news, you'll know.
I don't know why. Why?
Seriously, you don't?
No, I really don't know.
Nicole Eggert has accused him of, like, having an inappropriate sexual relationship with her when she was a teenager on the set of Charles in Charge.
Which one's Eggert?
The one who was also on Baywatch later, the blonde girl that was, like, the teenage daughter on the Charles in Charge.
Was she, like, the first fugly Baywatch chick?
No, I think I always thought she was hot, but
hold on, we must look.
And she was also in that Celebrity Fit Club show a few years ago too. Cool. And then also the kid who was like the young kid on that show has accused Scott Baio of calling him the F word a lot and like basically harassing him constantly. I'm like, it sounds like he was bullying essentially. And then Scott Baio was like, fuck you people, you're all liars. And I'm like, none of this ever happened.
Oh, no, yeah, she was... Okay, I thought she was attractive. Not so much now.
Not as much now, but I mean, she is like 50.
Whatever. Oh, gosh. Jesus Christ.
Calm down, buddy. It's going to be okay.
Jesus.
It's another in a long line of people who are getting called out.
He just had to prove how much Charles was in charge of that ass, apparently.
The views of Dave are not necessarily those of digitalnerdist.com.
I only wanted to say this because his ass literally just about fucking, if he was drinking something, it would have just came through his nose because he just looked.
We take charges of sexual harassment very seriously.
Sure, of the SJWs.
She said that they had a sexual relationship that was consensual, but she was underage, and like because of that, then apparently he's the bad guy. And then also that after they had a sexual relationship, he bullied her on the set, which, like, if that is true, then that's terrible.
So wait, she's saying they so they did get the freaky deaky, but then afterwards he bullied her, like after it was over, or like during?
After.
Oh, okay.
Like he was like bitter, I guess, or something. Or
probably.
Maybe because he was Scott Baio in the '80s and he was just throwing his dick around, like because
Charles was in charge, motherfucker.
Charles was in charge of
that ass.
Like,
take it.
We take these claims very seriously. All right.
Somebody took it very seriously. Somebody took it the most serious they could take it.
What the hell? We take women's rights very seriously. Yes, we do. I don't know about the validity of this one. Like, I'm not saying that she's like a liar or something. I'm just saying like I don't know.
Like,
how do you?
All kinds of crazy shit like that happens.
It is. There's so much. I don't want to go fucking through this. Yeah. We've had this conversation way too much lately. But
hey, any segue I could use to be like, Charles, this is a joke.
I should not have brought this up.
It's so good. So good.
I feel a fool.
Oh, you should, because I already knew about it. I just wanted you to
son of a bitch!
I just wanted you to
trap me, you son of a bitch! You all heard this. Dave trapped me.
No, literally, the moment you brought up Scott Baio, I was like, Charles in charge. How do I get him to like segue into this so I could use the Charles in charge line? Yes.
Send all your hate mail to Dave's page, Dave Basement of Doom.
Send it to the field of barren fucks that I will give about your hate mail, please.
Well, looks like it's about time to wrap it
up. Wrap it up, B.
Please remember, if you are in the Dayton area this coming weekend, we're going to be at the Jim and Dan Toy Show. If you want to come bitch slap Dave in person for his horrible sexual comment.
Just go ahead and let it be known, though. If you slap me, I'm going to fucking drill you. Like, I don't care what identity you assume, I'm gonna drill the fuck out of you.
Man, woman, gray warden, whatever
I don't give a fuck.
Are.
Yeah, I identify as a person getting knocked the fuck out. Like, that's what it is. That's what's happening.
So anyway, free admission, free parking. Oh no, I don't think it's free admission. No, it's like a couple
free ambulance ride to the hospital.
Don't quote me on the admission thing. I think it's like $2.
I think it was like it's under $5.
I gotta pull it back up here.
It's under $5.
I haven't pulled up.
Do you?
Yeah. No. Pulled out, you know.
Because he's Charles in charge.
Free parking, but $5 admission.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And kids 12 and under are free. Comics,
all your
toys, collectibles, guests, cosplay, door prizes, and so much more. That's the Jim and Dan Collectibles.
Especially if you hang out with us in the Roma, guys.
Comic and Toy Show, February 25th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's going to be at the Student Union, the Wright State Student Union, 3640 Colonel High Colonic, Colonel Glenn Highway, Dayton, Ohio 45435. So come on down, check us out there. It is officially shilling time, though. I sort of pre-shilled.
Yeah, I was going to say, dance monkey.
Pre-shill there. If you like what you heard this week on the Basement Fodder Podcast, you can, of course, find us at our network home of digitalnerdage.com and our website of thebasementofdoom.wordpress.com. You can find us on a myriad of social media platforms. Everything that motherfuckers use to talk to each other, we're pretty much there, except for MySpace, because, you know, we're old, but we're not that old. Although I probably still have.
I can't remember my password.
I don't either.
I can't get back on it, because I had a pretty rocking profile.
I had music to play.
Yeah. I had fucking
ballers, fuck, yeah, top 8 friends, you know.
Tom was always there, bitches.
But you can find us on Instagram and on Twitter at Basement Fodder. You can find us on Facebook, and I am Todd Dave, and Dave is Dave Basement of Doom. Myriad of other pages. The Basement Beesh has her page. The original Basement Babe has her page. The Dead Mother of Doom. It came from the Q.
The Dead Mother of Doom will try to sell you dicks.
She will try to sell you rubber dicks ad nauseum. That you can check all that out. You can also check us out on our YouTube channel as well. Just look for Basement Fodder on YouTube as well. I don't know what the actual address is, so I'll get that. But
we started it and then haven't used it in like a year.
Well, all of the Spreaker shows get uploaded there automatically.
To the YouTube?
Yeah, to the YouTube automatically. So all of their shows pretty much are, except for we're like 2 shows behind on Spreaker right now, but all available on YouTube as well. And you can see our vlog and everything on there as well. So that's going to wrap it up for this week. As always, from the Nook of Doom, I'm Todd.
And I'm Dave. And I'm in charge.
Until next time, Dave's in charge of your wrongs and your rights.
Yeah!
And I don't want Dave in charge of me.
Yeah!
Bye, y'all. Butter, y'all!
Bye!